Hello there, and you're very welcome to another episode of the Arkham Avengers FFPL podcast. You join me, the host, along with Eamon, Hector, and Captain Fantastical Mick, where we take a look to see how the managers in this league are getting on for the season. However, we'll also be talking about much more. So kick back, stay tuned, and enjoy. Well now, folks, the Premier League might be on hold while the World Cup is in action, but there's no holding back our panel. Joining me on today's show is Eamon and Hector. Captain Fantastical Mick is still out with his cold, and again, we wish him a speedy recovery.
Can I just say that perhaps maybe Captain Mick is enjoying Qatar? Maybe he's enjoying the sun over there too much. Maybe there's no cold at all. It's just a thought that came into my head.
Eamon, I'd like to think not. I mean, he'd hardly take off and leave us behind. Surely not.
This is Mick, after all. He's the one that's always swearing by the Vicks and the whiskey, But it's not. Doesn't seem to be working for him. Is a red herring knocking around here with Mick? Mick, do contact us. Even if you were to ring in and we can hear you sniffling, I'd accept that.
Thank you, Eamon, for that. Always believing, aren't you?
Well, you don't get to where I am these days by just buying everything that people say.
Gentlemen, how are you both keeping? It's really good to see you both here. And Hector, it's good to see that you came in today. Eamon.
Well, thank you. I'm doing fine. I've been watching some of the matches. England's got off to a good start. Netherlands as well. We had a little bit of an upset with Argentina. Germany have had a bit of an upset there. Spain got off to a good start. And I'm sure that we will have a few more upsets along the way. Saudi Arabia doing good. And I think that it's probably not hyped up the way things would be. I think we're still missing a bit of a buzz, but it's World Cup. Once it's football and every day, I'm a happy man.
Hector, you've returned. How are things?
Yes, I'll be back. Maybe I say a few words.
Yes, indeed. By all means, the mic is yours and we are all ears.
I want to say, Eamon, I say apology to you. I put my hands together. I say, I'm sorry for upsetting you. I know I make you unhappy and make you walk off show. Again, I say my sorries for this. Clasp my hands. I say it will not happen again. I can humbly just ask you, to say you accept apology, then we move on. I always think, if I see the words, you hear the words, understand the words, they are the words. What you thinking, Eamon?
As usual, Hector, sometimes you have a habit of going on quite a bit. In this instance, though, I accept your apology, Hector.
Thank you, Eamon. Thank you. And also, host, I want to say to our listeners, I say my sorries to all our listeners that I caused some trouble on the show. I never mean to cause trouble, never. I have my hands up and I ask listeners to accept my being sorry for what I don't know what I say.
Thank you for that there, Hector. Very sincere, if I may say so myself. And can I ask, and I'm sure our listeners would like to know, what possessed you to accuse Eamon of trying to sabotage your investigation in the first place? Where did that come out of?
Well, this should be good. I'm going to sit back and listen to this.
As you know, I investigate. And when I give my update on the show, every week, Eamon will be having things to say and make fun sometimes of what I am saying. And each time he has something to say, how he will say it, he make my report small. Lots of questions. And I get it into my head that maybe Eamon talk to people. And then he try to set me astray. And the inner voice say to me sometime, somebody trying to wind me up, get me going, very funny, we make laugh or have Hector. And at night I was awake, I was not sleeping properly, and I was thinking how I be sent wrong when I was investigating, and I thought he was so close, I thought he was doing very good. I was walking in the kitchen one morning, early hours, thinking, who know a lot about me? Who know a lot about what I'm doing?
Okay, yes, and your conclusion was?
Wait for this, listeners, wait for this. This is good.
I think to myself, it's Eamon. Yes, now I know I was wrong.
You're right, you were wrong, bucko. You were very wrong.
Okay, can I ask, so you've got it wrong with Eamon.
So you know that was a false flag, as they'd say. Nothing happening there with that. Where does this leave your investigation? Do you have any idea who sent you the message about this Miss Flanagan? And I think that's what really set everything off here, was this Flanagan business. I think about this, and with my intellectual mind, I think who else could be in this circle who would know lots? And who have you got? Have you got somebody in mind? I start to think, and I start to think that maybe it could be Mick.
Oh, excuse me. Did I actually hear you say correctly? You said Mick.
Hector, really? We've just got over one outburst. Are you trying to start another one? Heaven help us.
Really? And Mick, I have to say, isn't even here to stand up for himself. Hector, you're stooping to an all-time low here. The gall of you to even try this.
I have to say, Eamon, I'm with you on this. I think it's out of line, Hector, and I think you're barking up the wrong tree yet again. And this needs to be nipped in the bud.
Too true. I say yes. I support that. I second that. Too true. Hector, you need to come up with a decent lead in your investigation, or perhaps it's time to call it a day.
But wait, no but, Hector, no but. I'm not allowing this. It's one thing to have had a go at Eamon and you got your fingers burnt, and now you're going down the same route with Mick. I'm sorry, it's not happening. No, I'm not having this now. No, but I have...
What have you? More information? Saying or trying to elude Mick is out to distract you? Hector, you certainly haven't learned a thing, have you, in the last week or two?
You guys, listen, let me do the finish. I plead. Go on, out with it. Let's hear what you have to say. I said that I had thought I had been Mick, but I realized this would not be the case. Mick no do the like of this. And you figured Eamon would, is it? At the time, yes, and I know I be the wrong. I go back to the sketch pad. Drawing board, I say. No, I go back to the sketch pad. I put my work on that, There is no Miss Flanagan to hell. And I'm now starting to think that I don't think many people in the Maydo know the religious man, who he really is. He was visiting, and he ended up there on the night among all those people.
Hector, it's recitation, not religious man. He was doing a recitation.
So, now what? Where do we go from here? I'm going to look for a copy of the Northern Standard and try to find information on that, the priesty celebration. I'm starting to think that if there are photographs of people there, our man might be in it. And we may know him from the Maydo. So you think this paper might have a photograph of the fella who was doing the recitation.
It's a bit weak, Hector.
But I'll have to say this. It's certainly better than you going after Mick and Eamon. Right, that's where we stand. So you're going to try and get a paper to see if there's a photograph of this fella in for the priest. Why would you think that he'd be in the paper, can I ask? I don't know. I have hunch.
Oh, so you know what happens when you have hunch?
I have hunch. I think it's worth exploring. I certainly think I can't go about asking people down they may do because they seem to be really circles. Okay, so your investigation is hinging on a possible photograph in a paper, and that's it. You're kind of at the end of the road then. Well, I see what happened. Maybe we get his text message in from a listener or email who might know something. Okay, all right. Well, the last time you got a text message, all hell broke loose. So if you're getting any messages or any emails, I think you better run them past us before you start going off, traipsing down the road. God knows what you get up to. We'll leave it at that, and hopefully you're not going to step on too many toes along the way. I will see what happens. Moving along here, Eamon, coming over to you. I believe that you were on the Late Late Show last Friday night with none other than Ryan Tuberty.
Yes, that's right. I was on the show for a short while. Towards the end of the show, I made my grand entry and my appearance.
Oh, I did not know you were on a show. You were on the TV? I did not know that. I missed that. Maybe I can, maybe it be on the Catchy Uppy TV, you think? Yeah, I'd say you find him on the Catch Up TV there, Hector. And Eamon, back to yourself here. Is this going to be like a regular slot or appearance with you now on the Late Late Show?
Well, RTE do like to have me back from time to time, and it's good to be on the air. And no doubt I will be back. I mean, I was talking about the World Cup because I had to touch on the sad case of Vicky Phelan. and the travesty that's gone on out there. But I will be back on the TV. I have to say it was good to be there. I missed John on the show. John and I usually spar very well, and hopefully our team might get the two of us back on there again.
And I can't help but notice, Eamon, there was no shout out for the podcast. Like, what happened there?
I didn't think I needed to give a shout out. I mean, Hector's shouting out every week. Is that not enough of a shout out?
No, come on, Eamon, you know well. Podcast, Late Show. Great advertisement for us.
Well, talk to Hector about advertising.
Well, I can do you. Maybe you can have on this Late Show. Hector. At the very least, can you get the name of the show right? It's the Late Show.
And I certainly have to think. I'm not quite sure what Ryan Tuberty or the audience would make of you, Hector, if you turned up.
I would be very good on the show. I think I'd face for TV. I'm very good. I would be, I would hold strong performance on there.
I did you would, yeah. I know the sort of performance that would be probably madcap mayhem. Now, I'll tell you something here now, lads. Between all the emails coming in with the Eamon and Hector fallout, and I have more, then we might come to them, maybe not this week, maybe next week. We might read a few out when Mick is here, when we have a full cohort on the show. However, we did receive a text during the week from one of our listeners, and they sent us in a poem.
A poem? Oh, you're going to read out the poem.
Hold on now, Hector. Hold on. And this is actually on YouTube. If any of our listeners are interested in looking this up, it's on YouTube. However, we are going to play this for you. This poem is by Robert W. Service, and it's recited and starring a gentleman called Hal Jeayes and directed by Davin Jeayes. Now, forgive me if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, but you're about to listen to the cremation of Sam McGee.
There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was that night on the marge of Lake Labarge. I cremated Sam McGee. Now, Sam McGee was from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and blows. Why he left his home in the south to roam round the pole, God only knows. He was always cold, but the lure of gold seemed to hold him like a spell, though he'd often say in his homely way that he'd sooner live in hell. On a Christmas day, we were mushing our way over the Dawson Trail. Talk of your cold. Through the parka's fold, it stabbed like a driven nail. When our eyes would close, the lashes froze till sometimes we couldn't see. It wasn't much fun, but the only one to whimper was Sam McGee. And that very night, as we lay packed tight in our robes beneath the snow, he turns to me and, "Cap," says he, "I'll check in this trip, I guess. And if I do, I'm hoping you won't refuse my last request." Well, he seemed so low that I couldn't say no. Then he said with a kind of moan, "It's the cursed cold, and it's got right hold till I'm chilled clean through to the bone. Yet it ain't been dead. It's the awful dread of the icy grave that pains. So I want you to promise that, foul or fair, you'll cremate my last remains." Well, a pal's last need is a thing to heed, and I swore I would not fail. And we started out at the streak of dawn. God, he looked ghastly pale. He lay on the sleigh and he moaned all day of his home in Tennessee. But before nightfall, a corpse was all that was left of Sam McGee. There wasn't a breath in that land of death as I hurried horror-driven with a corpse half hid that I couldn't get rid because of a promise given. It was lashed to the sleigh and it seemed to say, "You may tax your brawn and brains, but you promised true, and it's up to you to cremate my last remains." Now a promise made is a debt unpaid, and the trail has its own stern code. Though my lips were dumb, in my heart, how I cursed that load. In the long, long night, by the lone firelight, while the huskies round in a ring howled out their woes to the homeless snows. Oh, God, how I loathed that thing. And every day that quiet play seemed to heavier and heavier grow. And on I went, though the dogs were spent and the grub was getting low. The trail was bad, and I felt half mad, but I swore I would not give in, and I would often sing to the hateful thing. And it hearkened with a grin. Till I came to the marge of Lake Labarge, and a derelict there lay. It was jammed in the ice, but I saw in a trice it was called the Alice May. And I looked at it, and I thought of it. Then I looked at my frozen chum. Then here, said I, with a sudden cry, is my crematorium. Some planks I tore from the cabin floor, and I lit the boiler fire. Some coal I found that was lying around, and I heaped the fuel higher. The flames they soared, the furnace roared, such a blaze you seldom see. Then I burrowed a hole in the glowing coal, and I stuffed in Sam McGee. Then I made a hike, for I didn't like to hear him sickle so. And the heavens scowled, and the huskies howled, and the wind began to blow. It was icy cold, but the hot sweat rolled down my cheeks. And I don't know why. And a greasy cloud in an inky cloak went streaking down the sky. I do not know how long in the snow I wrestled with grisly fear. But the stars came out and they danced about. Here again I ventured near. I was sick with dread, but I bravely said I'll just take a peek inside. I guess he's cooked, and it's time I looked. Then the door I opened wide, and there sat Sam, looking cool and calm in the heat of the furnace roar. And he wore a smile you could see a mile. And he said, "Please close that door. It's fine in here, and I greatly fear you let in the cold and storm. Since I left Plumtree down in Tennessee, it's the first time I've been warm." There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The Northern Lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was that night on the marge of Lake Labarge. I cremated Sam McGee.
Well, now, lads, what did you make of that?
Yes, I thought it was very spooky. Yes, put the man in the coal and he's smiling at him, saying he shut the door. What is that all about? I think you should have had that for Halloween.
Well, we didn't have it for Halloween because we only got it last week, Hector, but I do understand, yes. Eamon, what did you think of it?
And I have to say, I thought it was an excellent performance, very vivid. And we could really do with somebody like that gentleman Hal on the show. Fine, powerful voice there, commanding voice, holding everybody's attention. Very good. I like that. Our listener, thank you for sending that in. If you have anything else like that, I would appreciate you to send those in. I think we'd encourage that there.
Now, speaking of shows, can I ask, have we any update on how the planning is going for your night of watching Waking Ned Devine? How are you guys doing? Are you all set?
And of course, we're waiting for Mick to get better here, and then we can decide where we're going to watch the movie. Where is it going to take place? Certainly, we do say that my gaff will be out of bounds, especially after the incident with the wine. Now, perhaps Hector might offer up his place.
I need to see with the people, the friends I live with, see if they'll be happy for this. You will leave with me and I find out some more information about that.
I'll leave it with you anyways. Waking Ned is still there, or else I don't know what you're going to be watching next. Knight Rider, is it? An episode of Knight Rider, and discuss that?
Oh, sorry, why is the Knight Rider? Who is he a motorcyclist?
No. It's a program from it came out in the 1980s. It's a car, kit, high-tech car, talks and can do lots of things. And then there's a gentleman with him, Mr. Hasselhoff. He's Michael Knight.
I think you've lost Hector there, so you have. I really think so.
Okay, Hector, I'll get a clip after show it to you, okay?
Thank you, yeah. The car, it talks. The talking car.
We have lots of cars that talk. Yes, but we didn't have them back in the 80s now, Hector.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yes, me understand.
I don't think you do understand, Hector.
No, anyways, look, I think it's time to wrap up here. And certainly it's good to see that peace has prevailed between the two of you. And we hope to have Mick back soon. Have we got any Hector's hellos?
Yes, Hector's hellos is back. And I give shout out to our listeners in Germany, United States, Davao City and the Philippines. I hope the people are enjoying the day in the People's Park there. We have our listeners in the Islamic Republic of Iran, Australia, India, United Kingdom is there, Canada, Iceland, South Africa, Brazil. Hi, Mom. Hope you're keeping well. Look forward to seeing you maybe around Christmas time. We have our listeners in Nepal, Japan, Spain, and of course we have all our listeners across Ireland. Nice to have them listening there. Oh, be well, everyone. Hope you have a good day.
Thank you. Right, okay. I think it's time to wrap up this show. Gentlemen, thank you very much for being on the show here today. And I hope you continue to enjoy the World Cup, enjoy the matches, the football, all the crack that goes with it there. Don't get into too much trouble, either of you, at the moment. And to you, our listeners, thank you for joining us as well. We appreciate you taking the time to tune in with us. As always, if you have any comments or if there's anything that you'd like to send in to us, you can do so by sending an email into ArkhamAvengersFFPL@gmail.com. We're also on Facebook and on Twitter, which is still on the go, thankfully. The handles will be in the show notes. Send us a message, send us in a comment. If you want Hector to give a shout out someplace, he can do that. But as always, thank you for subscribing and listening to us. And don't forget to tell your friends and your family about us. All that remains is for me to say that I hope you have a good morning, a good afternoon, good evening, good night. Take care of yourselves, stay safe, and slán.